Hello everyone, my name is Samira and today we are going to learn about biology, organisms and life processes. So let me present my screen. So the 8 life processes require nutrition, plants make their food and animals eat other organisms for nutrition. Excrete, get rid of all the waste in the body, respond to stimuli, are sensitive to changes in their surroundings, move by the action of muscles in animals and slow growth movements in plants, control their internal conditions, maintain a steady state inside the body, reproduce, produce offspring, or simple words, babies, grow and develop, increase in size and complexity using materials from their food. Next, cell structure. Every organism has cells. Some structures of a cell which are present in the cells of some organisms are not present in other organisms. Most cells contain certain things such as nucleus, cytoplasm, and cell membrane. And some cells have missing parts like red blood cells do not have a nucleus so that they can carry more oxygen and hemoglobin. This is what gives them the biconcave shape. There are different types of cells like plant cell, animal cell, nerve cells, and blood cells, etc. Next, now we are going to talk about the basic structure of cells and the functions of its organelles. So as you can see here, this is a basic or a typical plant cell and this is a typical animal cell. As you can see, nucleus, ribosome, cell wall, cytoplasm, cell membrane, mitochondria, vacuole, chloroplast. These are some of the organelles inside a plant cell, and these are all the organelles which are not present in all kinds of cells. And over here in the animal cell, cytoplasm, nuclear membrane, cell membrane, ribosomes, nucleus, etc. Now let's talk about their functions. Cytoplasm, place where all the chemical reaction happens. Nucleus controls the activity of the cell. It contains chromosomes which carry the genetic material or genes. Genes control the activities in the cell by determining which protein the cells can make. The DNA remains in the nucleus, but the instructions for making protein are carried out of the nucleus to the cytoplasm, where the protein are assembled on tiny structures called ribosomes. So what are ribosomes? Ribosomes is the site of protein synthesis. This is where proteins are made. Cell membrane, it is a semi-permeable or selectively permeable membrane which allows only certain things to enter or leave. And cell wall, it technically allows everything to enter or leave the cell. And this is the exact opposite of cell membrane. It is the outermost part of a cell. Mitochondria or mitochondrion. So there is a difference between mitochondria and mitochondrion. Mitochondrion is singular and mitochondria is plural. It is the powerhouse of the cell. They carry out some of the reactions of respiration, releasing the energy that the cell can use. Vacuole, small and help sequester waste products, means remove, avoid waste products. Next, plant cells. So this is a typical plant cell I've shown you. Some structures are only found in plant cells like the chloroplast, cell wall, and permanent vacuole. See, the permanent vacuole. The cell wall is a layer of non-living material that is found outside the cell membrane of plant cell. It is made of a carbohydrate called cellulose. It is a permeable membrane that allows anything to enter or leave. It is porous, so it is not a barrier to water or dissolved substances. Cellulose, tough material that helps the cell keep its shape and is one of the reason why the cell has a fixed shape. Animal cells don't have this, hence they have a variable shape. Variable shape means it changes all the time. Plant cells absorb water, producing an internal pressure that pushes against adjacent cells, giving the plant support. Without a cell wall strong enough to resist these pressures, this method of support is impossible. Mature plant cells or grown plant cells have a larger central space surrounded by a membrane called the vacuole. This blue thing is called the vacuole. permanent feature filled with a watery liquid called cell sap, which is a store of dissolved sugars, mineral ions, and other solutes. In animal cells, it is only temporary. The plant leaves are green as they have an organelle called chloroplast, which gives that color. They absorb light energy to do the process of photosynthesis. They have a green pigment called chlorophyll. Parts that are not green do not have chlorophyll. So photosynthesis is the process in which plants use sunlight and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere to make their food, technically glucose, and produce energy. And they release oxygen. Next, enzymes. The chemical reaction that take place in a cell are controlled by a group of protein called enzymes. They are biological catalysts. So what is the meaning of a catalyst? Chemicals that make the reactions happen faster without getting involved in the reaction. There are different types of enzymes which speed up different kinds of reactions. This is how the activities of a cell are controlled. The nucleus contains the genes which control the production of enzymes. So there are different kinds of enzymes which speed up different kinds of reaction. Like we use certain spices for certain types of cooking dishes or something. Exactly the same enzymes, specific enzyme work for specific reactions. So this process is genes go to proteins or the enzymes and they catalyze reactions. Next, enzymes are necessary because the temperatures inside the organisms are low, and without these enzymes, reactions would be far too slow. Hence, we need enzymes. So this is the reason why we need enzymes. The place where enzymes do the reaction is the active site, where it acts on a molecule called the substrate. When the substrate joins up with the enzyme in the active site, it lowers the energy needed for the reaction and helps products form more easily. The substrate fits into the enzyme like a lock and key model. Only substrates fit into the specific enzyme. So in a lock and key, not every key fits inside every lock. So a substrate and an enzyme are in specific shape so that they fix into each other like a lock and a key. Next, so as I told you about the lock and key structure, so this is an enzyme and that is a substrate. It goes and fits inside, and when they catalyze, they sit inside this, and this is the product. After an enzyme molecule has catalyzed a reaction, the product is released from the active site and the enzyme is free to act on more substrate molecules. Next. Now let's talk about the coalition theory. The coalition theory states that for a chemical reaction to occur, the reacting particles must collide with one another. The rate of reaction depends on the frequency of collisions. The theory also tells us that reacting particles often collide without reacting. When they collide, they release energy which is needed for the reaction called the activation energy. The more reactions that occur, the higher the rate of reaction. As you can see, this is a lower concentration, there is few collisions, and this is a higher concentration, so they have more collisions. So this is tend to be having a higher rate of reaction. So next, factors affecting the rate of reaction. Temperature. Enzymes work best at an optimum temperature. Like all other reactions, the rate of reaction increases as temperature increases, but enzymes after a particular temperature, they start to denature, and only at optimum temperatures the enzyme work best and require less activation energy. So unlike all other reactions, the more temperature you rise, the higher the rate of reaction. It is technically the same, but after a certain point, which is according to the graph, the peak of the graph, after it reaches that point, it starts to lose its shape. So like that. Now, in coordination with temperature, pH, it is how alkaline or how acidic a substance is. Enzymes work at optimum pH. Some enzymes work best when they are acidic and some when they are alkaline. The peak point is the optimum pH. See, they both are the same graph and the peak point is the optimum. So acidic, so 0 to 6 is acidic, 7 is neutral, and 8 to 14 is alkaline pH. So these are the factors affecting the rate of reaction. So this is the chapter part 1 of life processes. I'll come with the next video and the second part soon. Bye.